Welcome to the Dhosjan Show. I'm your host, Dhosjan Greenaway-Delini, a startup advisor and fractional CFO at Innovate. In celebration of International Women's Day, I recently delivered a talk to a group of school-age girls, their mothers and fathers. It was a chance for me to honor the women and girls that have touched my life over the years, and these women are what I refer to as my tribe. And I also took the opportunity to share some important lessons that they have taught me throughout the years. And so what I'm sharing today is effectively a version of that talk. So I started off with my 8-year-old daughter reciting a poem, I Can by Tony Langham, and she listed a variety of things as she went through the poem, things that she's able to do, and ends with, I can do lots of things, what about you? So it comes off as a fun poem for an 8-year-old to be sharing, but as I listened to her prepare this for a school event, I was struck by the phrase, I can. I can, so two short words that hold so much power, meaning, and impact. And that poem, it got me thinking about the women and some men who over the years have made me believe that I could. And I call them my tribe, my support system, my motivators. And I know for a fact that their impact is lifelong, and that I've only achieved anything in my work or business because of the belief that has been instilled in me, in myself, and my potential by my tribe. So as I think about the women and girls who inspire me, I'll start off with my daughter. The inspiration for my professional work of enabling founders, my advocacy work around women in tech, in AI. So, because I tell her that she can be anything and everything she wants to be. And I just really, really want that to be true for her, but also for girls everywhere. I think about my mother for never letting me settle for mediocre. Average results were just not acceptable, and forcing me, instilling in me this passion of always pushing myself. And I remember, I think it was in high school and early college years where I'd celebrate getting 100% on a test, and she's like, well, what about, is that good? Because you could have gotten 105% if you did extra credit. And I think about my grandmother for being simply a pure, good human being and her unwavering belief that I could be anything and everything. And I remember my primary school form teacher who recognized my love of reading and writing and pushed me to express myself creatively. And I think about my high school home economics teacher who supported me through bullying and helped me figure out ways to work through it. My college professor who made me realize that I had skills that companies would value and, helped me to find work. And I am so thankful for the friend who reminded me of how far I've come. And I remember them saying, you've survived 100% of your darkest days so far. You're on a winning streak here. You are far, far stronger than you think. And I think about my work bestie turned therapist and champion all in one, who reminded me, she said, so you should really ignore the work bullies and those toxic work environments that's weighing so heavy on your energy and your mind. Because in your biography, when we're talking about your impact, these people, will they be in the book? Will they be a chapter, a paragraph, a footnote? Will they even be in the book? So let's just focus on the goals for now. And to my university mate turned executive coach turned friend who helped me articulate my purpose and my purpose of enabling others to be the best version of themselves, which is what I do every day as a startup advisor, fractional CFO. In my mentoring advocacy work, it's led me to building AI tools to serve underserved founders. And I think about their impact. And I was recently reminded again of the power of one and that we all actually in our own way can make an impact. I received a social media message from a high school classmate that I had 30 years ago, which I couldn't have been in high school 30 years ago. That makes no sense. The math just doesn't work. But anyway, and she sends me this message and she says, thank you for being nice to me when I was bullied in high school, for being my friend. You helped me through some really difficult times. And I'm thinking, I didn't do anything. Yes, I remember her being bullied. I was just kind and nice because that's just who I am. But she remembered. So it just reminds me that the importance of being kind, because you never know whose life you will change today. Who are you going to impact with a few nice, kind words and a listening ear? And as we think about International Women's Day, that's coming up on 8th March, and for me, it's about fixing the gap in equality and equity for women and girls. And so this March, I'll be part of a tribe of thousands of volunteers as a participant for UN Women UK CSW 70. And that is the 70th session of the Commission on the Status of Women. It's a UN conference in New York that many of us join virtually. So we join governments, experts, campaigners to address the critical issues shaping women's lives today. So yes, I believe in the power of one, but the impact of many. And as I said earlier, International Women's Day, it's a prime time to celebrate the women and men who made us believe that we could. But I have one question for you on this International Women's Day. Whose tribe are you in? To elaborate, who are you showing up for? Who are you guiding? Who are you coaching? Who are you listening to? Who are you opening doors for? Who are you making introductions for? Who are you speaking up for when you see bullying in the workplace? Who are you making space for? Who are you bringing on stage or into that meeting? And who will you stand up for when someone makes an inappropriate joke? Again, whose tribe are you in? And I really, really do hope that you are in many. And I'm hopeful this International Women's Day. And over the years, I've met and worked with a lot of talented senior people across the globe, men and women. And I've also had the privilege of meeting a number of school-age girls, their parents, their teachers. And I have absolutely no doubt that they will do very well in life. And as I think about the world and how the world of work is changing, evolving with AI quite rapidly, and I think about how the increasing challenges, the global challenges we're facing even today, I'm still hopeful because I know exceptional talent and potential when I see it. And when I think of the girls I've had a privilege to know, I often chuckle to myself because the world has no idea of the brilliance, the talent, and the change makers that are coming. It's going to be epic. So let's do our bit to make sure that these girls can fully be the best version of themselves. And I want to leave you with the same 4 quotes that I left as part of my talk to that room of girls. The first one: comfort is the enemy of progress. And that's one, I believe it's from P.T. Barnum, that I discovered recently while watching the film The Greatest Showman with my daughter. Comfort is enemy of progress. And I do believe that, because any win I've had in any shape or form was on the back of being very, very uncomfortable. Another quote that's framed in my home office is, "It always seems impossible until it's done." And that's from Nelson Mandela. Another quote that's in my home office, I'm into the mantras. The third quote I want to leave you with is, "She remembered who she was and the game changed." And I look at that every day and I remember all the people who made me believe that I could. So I remember who I am and I remember what I can do when I go and do it. And finally, my daughter is fantastically obsessed with reading, like I was as a child, which is great. And so I bought us a pair of bookmarks, and it's unprinted on it. It says, "She believed she could, so she did." So I want to say thank you to all the women and men in my life who saw the version of me that I couldn't and made me say, I can. Thank you for listening to this episode. If you found it helpful, please share it with an entrepreneur, a colleague, a friend, or family member. And don't forget to follow the Dhosjan Show for more insights, strategies, and stories to help you launch, grow, and scale your business. If you'd like to learn more about how we can support you, get in touch by going to our website at biainnovate.com. That's biainnovate.com. I'd love to hear more about any business challenges or your thoughts on International Women's Day. And please do feel free to reach out to me directly on the Bia Innovate website or on LinkedIn. All my links are shared in the show notes for this podcast episode. So until next time, keep pushing boundaries and keep embracing innovation.